Once upon a time, not so long ago, in a city much like our own, lived a young man named Dumrul. But Dumrul was no ordinary young man. He loved computers, phones, robots and drones. Even as a child, he would take apart toy cars, install tiny motors in them, and operate them with remote controls. Everyone in the neighborhood knew about his fascination with these things and called him Technology. Crazy Dumrul? Over time, this nickname shortened to Deli Dumrul. A crazy Dumrul because he was known not only for his technical prowess, but also for his bold actions. When Dumrul grew into a young man, he established his own small technology workshop. There, he repaired computers, built drones, and organized free technology learning events for children. But Dumrul had a dream to open a technology center in the neighborhood where everyone could gather, and he succeeded. Everyone came to Dumrul's center to play games with the fastest internet, watch movies, and even learn how to build robots. However, Dumrul had one rule. Everyone who came to the center had to pay an entrance fee. He charged more from the wealthy and less from the poor. At first, this arrangement didn't bother anyone, but over time, some began to criticize. Dumrul, it's nice that you charge less from the poor, but why set such a high fee that not everyone can afford? Dumrul answered, my goal is to use the money I earn to buy more technology and build a bigger center. This way, everyone will benefit more. On the surface, this reasoning seemed sound, but when one of the neighborhood children heard it, they wondered, Dumrul is only after big achievements. Is this arrangement truly fair? One day, Dumrul came up with a new idea. He said, I'm going to organize a drone race and set up the course on the largest bridge in the neighborhood. But anyone who wants to cross this bridge will either have to pay money or participate in the race. From that moment on, Dumrul's story took a completely different direction. But no one could have predicted what this crazy idea would bring upon him. Dumrul began preparations for the drone race. He had chosen the neighborhood's largest bridge. He placed colorful lights and ribbons on it, perfectly preparing the drone racing course. There were large speakers around the bridge, and excitement was building as race day approached. Dumrul took the microphone and announced to the neighborhood, Hey, folks! This bridge is now part of the technology park. Anyone who wants to cross must either pay an entrance fee or participate in the drone race. If you can't do either, find another route. While some people were amused by Dumrul's decision, others were saddened. Especially the elderly and children were somewhat upset because the bridge provided convenience for their daily errands. But Dumrul's rules were strict. One day, an elderly man with a cane slowly approached the bridge. He had a white beard and a kind face. Leaning on his cane, he called out to Dumrul, My son, I need to cross this bridge, but I can't participate in the drone race, and I don't have much money to pay. Show me a way? At first, Dumrul ignored the old man's words. Using his microphone, he shouted, This bridge is part of my course! The rules apply to everyone! Either pay money or fly a drone. But the old man remained calm. Looking into Dumrul's eyes, he smiled gently and said, My son, this bridge might be yours, but there are things here that no one owns, like time and life. At that moment, a wind blew. The old man suddenly disappeared. Dumrul scratched his head, not understanding what had happened, and thought to himself, was this a joke? But his real surprise was yet to come. Just then, the sky darkened, and the air suddenly turned ice cold. Dumrul saw a man wearing a black leather jacket, riding a huge motorcycle in the middle of the bridge. The man stopped in front of Dumrul, dismounted from his motorcycle, and approached him. He had a determined expression on his face. Who are you? Asked Dumrul, somewhat afraid. The man smiled and replied, I am the guardian of time. I observe how people spend their lives and how they treat others. What you've done today brought me here. Dumrul didn't know what to say. The guardian of time spoke to him in a stern voice. You've turned this bridge into your playground. You're hindering people's passage and making their lives difficult. What about your own life? Now I will truly test your courage. Let's see if you can sacrifice your own time to help others. Dumrul was bewildered, but deep down, he also sensed that something was wrong. It was at that moment that he began to question his courage for the first time in his life. Would Dumrul be able to pass the Guardian of Time's test? As Dumrul listened to the Guardian of Time, he was both confused and somewhat afraid. But Dumrul always thought of himself as brave. He told himself, "This must be just another game. I can pass any test." However, things wouldn't be as easy as he thought this time. The Guardian of Time said to Dumrul, "Son, courage isn't just about strength or rules. True courage is being able to sacrifice something for the good of others. Now I'm going to subject you to a test. If you can pass this, you'll save both the bridge and your reputation." Dumrul asked in surprise, "What test? What do I need to do?" The Guardian looked at him seriously. "There's a family in your neighborhood who needs help. You must help them not just with your money, but with your time and effort. But in doing so, you'll set aside your bridge, your race, and your rules. Now I present you with two choices. Either continue with your old order and remain alone on this bridge, or choose to help and become a source of hope for people again." At first, Dumrul couldn't make much sense of this. He always did things his own way and didn't want to compromise on his rules. But at the same time, he wondered inwardly, what would it be like to help someone who really needs it? The Guardian took Dumrul to the home of a family in the neighborhood. This house was quite old, situated in a small garden. The person who opened the door was a child. The child's clothes were worn, but there was a sparkle in their eyes. Dumrul looked at the child and, for the first time, witnessed someone else's life so closely. "Hello," said Dumrul, somewhat hesitantly. "I'm here to help you." The child called for their mother. The mother thanked Dumrul and explained the situation. "We don't have a computer. The children can't keep up with their lessons. My husband can't find work because we can't access the internet. But we're doing our best to get out of this situation." Dumrul paused at what he heard. Until that day, he hadn't realized how much people struggled. He immediately took action. He brought an old computer from his center, set up an internet connection, and began giving technology lessons to the children. Moreover, he promised to help this family regularly for a while. Dumrul had never felt so peaceful while doing this. A week later, the Guardian of Time visited Dumrul again. "Son, you've kept your promises. You've seen that helping people requires not just your money, but also your time and effort. Now you've truly become a leader." At that moment, Dumrul realized something. True courage wasn't just about winning races or being strong, it was about being able to touch someone's life. Dumrul's test was now complete, but a whole new journey was just beginning within him. After passing the Guardian of Time's test, Dumrul felt like a completely different person. While he used to think only about technology and his own achievements, he now understood the importance of helping others and touching their lives. When he returned to the bridge, the neighborhood people welcomed him enthusiastically. Everyone had noticed how Dumrul had changed. Dumrul took the microphone and that day addressed the crowd from the bridge. "Dear neighbors, I apologize to all of you. By turning this bridge into my own playground, I created difficulties for you. But now I understand that technology and knowledge are for sharing, not for creating barriers. From now on, I won't ask for money or anything else from anyone who wants to cross this bridge." Applause erupted in the neighborhood. Children, the elderly, and young people greeted Dumrul's decision with great joy. But Dumrul didn't stop there. He established a large free technology workshop under the bridge. Everyone in the neighborhood, especially children, could come here to learn how to build robots, write code, and use drones. Special lessons were also organized for the elderly, helping them get acquainted with the internet. One day, Dumrul saw that the little child he had helped came to his workshop. The child excitedly hugged Dumrul and said, "Big brother, thanks to you, I have a computer and can study my lessons. In the future, I want to establish a technology center like yours." These words both moved Dumrul and motivated him even more. Now Dumrul was no longer just Deli Dumrul, but Hero Dumrul of the neighborhood. Everyone in the neighborhood loved, respected, and supported him in his work. One evening, as Dumrul sat at the head of the bridge watching the sunset, the guardian of time came to him once more. "Son," said the guardian, "I presented you with a choice, and you made the right one. Now you've become a leader who illuminates people's lives. Remember, true wealth is the knowledge you share, the effort you give, and the mark you leave on people's lives." Dumrul looked at the guardian with gratitude and thanked him. From that day on, he began to help not only his neighborhood, but also other neighborhoods in the city. He established technology centers everywhere, especially organizing free courses for children in need. Now Dumrul's life was filled with helping and sharing. Children would come to his workshops to both learn and have fun. Dumrul had become not just a technology enthusiast, but a true leader. And most importantly, he now worked not just for himself, but for everyone. Thus, Dumrul's story showed us once again that courage and success find their true meaning when they beautify the lives of others.